Alright guys, working on the Vette again today. Game plan is to continue working on the bumper and also start working on these little guys, which are just little covers that connect the bottom of the bumper to the front inner fender. These are just a little dirty. This one, you can see here these little U-clips, the holes got kind of torn out when the car was in an accident. So my plan is one, clean these up a little bit first, scrub them down with some degreaser, clean it up. I'm going to try and plastic weld these to fix these holes, and then I'm just going to hit these with a coat of that truck bed coating. That stuff seems to be working pretty good. Go from there and then start sanding on the bumper. Alright, so it was a little bit of a challenge getting those U-clips off because they kind of pushed all the way through and then pushed out through the holes. So the holes, there's no actual tears or cracks in this, but the holes have definitely probably gotten a little bit too big. So now the U-clips are just pulling through. So I'm going to try and flatten this out and then maybe just fill the hole a little bit. But again, not going to be perfect. I just kind of wanted to experiment a little bit because I have that plastic welder. I don't even know if this plastic is a thermoplastic or if it's a thermoset. Hopefully it's a thermoplastic because then we can actually melt it and weld it, unlike the bumper we're repairing also. So let's go ahead and get this thing. It's already hot, so let's try it with the filler material. Alright, so first game plan, I'm just going to try and kind of smooth. I got to test to see if this is even a thermoplastic. It looks like it is. So we're getting some melting action here. So that's good. Alright, cool. So that's a win. This is a thermoplastic. Yeah, you can definitely see on this side, oh, pulled that out of camera. It's a little bit deformed from the U-nut or U-clip pushing through. Alright, so I got some filler material. This just came with the kit from Harbor Freight, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a shot here, see how it works. Brace this with my flip-flop. So it seems to be working pretty well. So kind of just heat up the filler material, get it to the point where it melts, and then work it into the base part here. Okay, so not bad. Got this to fill in pretty nicely. It's not perfectly smooth, but again, no one's going to see that. Pretty cool. Let's try the other side now, and then I'll do the other hole. So the trick is kind of get the filler material broken off from the stick by using the heat, and then or you can kind of cut it, you know, if you want to do that too, and then just you kind of work it into your repair area slowly but surely. And it's a balance of heating the base plastic and your repair filler plastic so that you get a good bond between the two. Just kind of like regular welding, you know, you don't want the repair material just to melt. You want the repair material to melt and fuse and bond with the base material. Oh, look at that. We got some poking through on the other side here, so that'll be good. Give us a kind of piece to use to fill. Oh, actually, I probably should have let that cool. It just pushed right through the other side. Alright, so I'm going to let that cool for a sec, and then we'll get this piece kind of smoothed out on this back side. Okay, so not a bad first experience with plastic welding here, if you don't count my failure at trying to repair my front bumper. So it definitely worked to add the material here, so we know this is a thermoplastic, so it can be remelted, that's what that means. I'd say the biggest challenge is just getting the repair area smooth, but I guess this is obviously your first method of repair when you're doing a repair, so probably gonna maybe hit this with a little sandpaper, and then if this was a body panel or bumper, you'd hit it with some body filler or fill material and then your primer. So this is just your rough base fill, so I think it's not designed to be super smooth, but overall definitely looks pretty good. Kind of have an approximate location for the two holes that I'll drill after I get it sanded and smooth, and then we'll paint these things real quick. Alright, so this is after spending some time sanding the repair areas down a little bit, so you can kind of see the repair areas. Not perfect, but designed to just be a quick little repair before we throw some paint on it and make it look a little more presentable. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this one, strip the U-clips off the other one, and prep these for paint. Alright, ladies and gents, so last little update here before I actually get to painting these. So you saw I drilled the holes through. It lifted a little bit of the plastic, so what I did was I went back in and got the torch or the iron heated back up, and then just kind of went back over the area, and it actually turned out really nice. I'm pretty happy with it. So it seems like a good method for plastic welding, and some might be more experienced with this already, so it might be common knowledge, but to weld, get your repair mostly in place, sand, and then go back in and re-weld, and the welder kind of smooths out the sanded area. Alrighty everyone, checking in on an update here. You can see I got the bumper turned kind of facing up. This is actually a really nice stable way to work on it, to where I can get to some angles that I can't with it sitting flat. But overall, it's coming together really nice. This area is really smooth. It's not perfect, but I mean, I would probably spend hours and hours trying to get that exactly perfect. So if I'm really not happy with it after we hit it with some primer and I kind of see it all as one color, then I'll go back. But I think for now, that's pretty dang good. I block sanded it cross hatch pattern, so you try and you sand to the contour of the bumper. And then now I'm hitting all the small areas and roughing up the paint everywhere else on the bumper. I've got one little area down here I'm going to throw some body material in, because I have to do some I'm going to touch up some repairs on the car also. But this bumper is getting pretty close to being ready for paint. I just got to rough everything up and kind of get all my, got to sand it, got to look up what the correct sandpaper is to sand to according to the paint manufacturer that I got. But everything is turning out really nicely. For considering how bad a shape this bumper was before, I'm pretty happy with the result right now. Okay, so the bumper is pretty much ready to go for paint for the most part. Still got to touch up one little kind of chip area on the bottom that probably got nicked into the bumper when the car drove into a low driveway previously or hit something on the road. But the sanding prep for paint is pretty much done. This was all with 220, so I got to still consult the manufacturer recommendations for how to prep parts based on their paint. I figured you're probably not going to go any lighter than 220, but who knows. But it looks a little bit rougher now because I haven't wiped down all the sanding dust off of it. But so I'm going to do that, hit this with the little bit of 3M repair material, and then shift gears to finishing up the body repairs on the actual car. Okay, so quick update, got the top repair material down on the last parts of the Corvette here. So did the little part on the fender here, or the door fender, and this stuff works so well when you actually really apply a decent amount of pressure with your spreader. It spreads really smoothly and it's really easy to feather it down. So that one went down good, and then we got the back one over here. So this is the passenger side rear wheel area. There was like a nick out of the fender right here, so got that as pretty smooth as I could. This one was a little trickier because it's on this rounded edge here with where the fender stops, so just gonna have to be careful and slowly sand the material down so we just meet the contour there. Thankfully this stuff sands really nicely, obviously because it's called easy sand, but just wanted to show you guys that one. And then we got the last few spots over here. So on this part here, if you guys remember, there was a crack and then a gouge in the fender. This one was pretty good overall. There was just a little bit of a low spot that I could feel with my hand at the transition point between the repair area and the not repaired area, so I just went ahead and feathered that out, and I'll sand that down. And then this spot right here on the door, this is from when the fender was pushed back with the old inner fender that was damaged. So I just hit this with a little bit of the repair material because I had previously used these spot putty, which I've learned that stuff is no bueno, so don't use a one-part spot putty. It's just old material or old style technology that doesn't work really well, so I went ahead and put that on there as well. So I'm gonna let this cure up here. It's got I believe a 30-minute cure time, and then I'll go ahead and sand all these spots as well while the car's out and away from the garage. Alrighty, good morning everyone. It's the next week here and I'm finishing up this video. I forgot to film an outro, so I'm going to kind of show you guys where I'm ending off this video and where the next video is going to begin, because I'm doing that this morning. So all those spots I just showed you guys on the car, so I went back through and final sanded those and blended those, so now they're nice and smooth, great transitions, no major rough spots, so that one looks great. And then go over here, the garage is an absolute mess right now. Been helping my family and friends work on their cars, so I got all my tools out. So got this piece all nice and sanded down. This transition is extra smooth, no ridges there, can't feel the transition or the feathered edge, so that's really nice. And then same thing back for this section on the rear quarter panel or fender. So got a nice smooth transition here, no major low spots. The curvature along the edge of the wheel well here is really nice, And yeah, so that came out really great. And then over here, again, garage is a mess, apologize, but it's life. So got the bumper all nice and sanded up for the most part. So I'm gonna have to go back through and hit this with like 600 grit, and then the other thing is I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this emblem off, and then sand underneath that. And hopefully I can salvage the emblem. If not, might have to order one online. So this all turned out really nice. Just have a little spot here I gotta sand, and then I gotta spot repair something on the bottom real quick. But this all is sanded and pretty much ready to go. And a hint at the next videos to come are related to all these cans right here. So you guys can see that. I'll leave you there, and you'll kind of know what's coming in the next few videos on the channel. Alrighty guys, I'm going to end this video here. Hope you enjoyed watching me continue some of the body work on the front bumper and the car as well. Crossing my fingers, we're getting close to being completely done with all the body work. I think we are. Now we just got to top it off with some nice paint work. Been watching a ton of YouTube videos, so hopefully I can get myself somewhat of a decent, not a superb, you know, just a decent paint job to get this car all looking back to one solid color. I'm really trying to get this car all back together, put together, back on the road in the near future, because some big life changes are coming for me, and I'm also excited to just start getting to some of the fun mods that I have sitting in boxes over here as well, and just to drive the car, you know. The whole point of this car is to drive it. So anyways, thanks again guys for watching. Really appreciate your support on the channel. If you haven't already, subscribe for more content to come. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next one.